This is Marketing of Today. I'm Cesar. Let's go. Welcome, Ricky Rosario. How you doing, bro?
What's up, bro? Thank you for having me.
I envy you a little bit.
What?
The reason I came to New York City was because I wanted to become a filmmaker.
Okay.
So, of course, as you may understand, the film industry is a little hard to get into. So I started with doing content for promo work, for Instagram, social media. Yeah. And yes, I've developed good relationships. And I think eventually I'll get to be a filmmaker. But bro, what you've been doing is so cool. I've been watching everything on your Instagram page and on HBO. Man. You have an HBO, bro.
Thanks, man.
Those are the dreams, man.
Well, first, you are a filmmaker. I'm going to say that. You are. You tell stories. You tell stories.
Yeah, but mine is more like 1 minute. I want to make something.
You know, it's just scaling up. Now it's just a matter of you getting the client or the job that's a bigger one that you could, you know, sink your teeth into. So
I started talking about the Abuelitas Luck.
That's Abuela's Luck. Yeah, Abuela's Luck.
That's a little short film that you did. How long is the short film?
The short film is only 10 minutes.
10 minutes, right? Yeah. Then you based it off in the Bronx or in...
So it's supposed to be somewhere in New York. It could be the Heights. It could be Brooklyn. We shot it in Brooklyn, but I just wanted to play up the whole Dominican bodega.
Boricua too, you added to that.
Yeah, we had a Boricua in there. We had like, you know, Cuban, whatever. So...
You added the Latino flow into it and the New York lifestyle. Especially pusiste una canción del típico también, which is interesting.
We had mad típicos. Yeah, we had Max yeah, we had a lot of, you know, Max Banda. You know, shout out to Steve who coordinated all that. He was the one that did. He actually composed all the music.
Oh wow.
He also used to work with Max Banda, so that's how we got there. So,
got it.
So he made the contact. But yeah, the show was only 10 minutes. I wanted to kind of show there was a part of my life where I always got my grandmother scratch offs, and I still do to this day. So I just wanted to.
It's a dream. Everybody's dreaming of the $1 million. But you know what's funny? You're talking about scratch offs. My wife was talking to me about scratch offs the other day, and she was like, "Oh, I want to get scratch offs." I'm like, whoa. Espérate. She said, I only like scratching. Get some fake ones on Amazon. Don't get into this world, please. But it's part of the Latino community trying to get rich.
They love it. My mom loves it. My grandma, my aunt. So it's like, it was such a...
It was part of your life.
Part of my life. Part of my cousin's lives. Like anything.
Exactly. And it's part of our lives. Yeah. It's relatable. So that's the subject in line, right? That's how you started it from the bodega, and then you included the character. So... the story builds from the scratch offs. To what's the next? Like, give me a little. I know that you're trying to get the full series, right? Not a movie.
I'm trying to make a feature. No, I'm trying to make a full movie from it.
Full movie. 30 minutes. You get 30.
Like an hour 60, and a half. 2 hours, an hour.
So how is it like? Give me a little bit. No, not everything.
No, I won't. I can't.
Don't spoil it.
I'm still writing it, so I can't give everything away.
But. Like, what were you like? What's the next thing?
Yeah, so the feature now is gonna really focus on the family that we learn a little bit about, right? We learn about the abuela, but we don't really see her. We learn about Raymond, who's the main character, but we don't really know the rest of his family, even though we hear the bodeguero like talk highly of them and all that stuff. So I'm gonna explore now in the feature the family, but not only just the family, just how the family is so big and so different. You know, like, look, I'm pretty light skinned, but I have cousins that are really, 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 really dark. And I just want to showcase kind of like, we come in all shapes and sizes.
Exactly.
And also because of the worlds we grow up in, we also do a bunch of different things. Like the main character in like Raymond in the short, he's kind of a bad kid. So in the feature, I'm going to like heighten that a little bit more. You know, he's doing like scams with his cousin, things like that. Stuff
that goes on in a day-to-day basis in the Latino community.
Right. And it's like, you come from a good family. Why are you doing that? But then that also goes down to like, all right, what are these kids learning in school, right? And it all comes down to money. And it's like, all right, these kids are not learning how to be financially responsible.
Not only the money, they're also seeing people out there
doing things.
And especially
but it's just a snowball, it's a snowball effect.
Exactly. And back there in the 80s, 90s, 2000s in New York City, when they saw this kid with a nice car, with a chain, they were inspired to do wrong things because they wanted that quick buck. Yeah,
but again, that's just like, just a snowball effect from that person that's been doing it because someone before them was doing it. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of, and not to say that, get your money however you need to get your money. Like, I get that.
I understand.
But I think it sucks to see, billion-dollar companies, selling kind of the same stuff or whatever. And it's like, oh, snap. So it's like, it's only.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
There's a couple shows on Netflix, so people can see it.
Yeah.
That talk about how there's millionaires make millions in the same way people do some stuff in the streets.
Yeah. So, I think, and that all goes back to just, fiscal responsibility, understanding financial literacy. Like the feature is going to really be about financial literacy and how, we kind of make the wrong decisions, even though we're smarter, or if we use that intelligence to something else, it would go further, but we don't apply that, right? We're just like, it'd be easier to just like scam somebody instead of like, investing
let's set this
that
up.
money into stocks, into whatever crypto.
But then let me ask you a question, because you're going somewhere here. What do you think is the root to the problem for us not to take that extra step that will make everything better for our lives and for generational wealth?
Access to resources, access to money, which is also a sense of resources. But, I don't know why we've gone so long without any like huge strides. We've made great strides, right? We have people in our communities that we look up to. We have people in the industry that we look up to for what they've done. But they're still like, 5% out of what it could be. And I think that just comes down to, the systemic, I don't want to say systemic racism, but you could call it that, you call it however. It's just, there's a system in place that hasn't changed for over hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And, we're still kind of seeing the effects of it, which is why we're not further ahead, in terms of financial literacy or understanding, fiscal responsibility. And it's up to us, to realize it and to make some changes, right? Like, we're at a family business right now, right? And it's like you see like, okay, there could be a change if someone decides to do it. And I think in our culture and in our communities, we get lost in the fact like, oh, you know what? We're just gonna be here with everybody else that didn't do anything, or we're not gonna like make the community better because it wasn't better for me, so I'm not gonna make it better for anybody else. Yeah.
So like I was speaking to a friend of mine yesterday. Crazy that this was actually spoken about yesterday, and I'm like, us as the community, us as the young ones, right? So I was speaking to a friend of mine, and it was funny enough that we were talking about a similar subject, which was in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, in a third world country, right? You didn't have information available. Like, I don't need to meet you today to know about you.
Yeah.
I just had to look up your name and I'll be able to see everything you worked on.
Yeah.
So I think it's also, I believe it's also a personal, or we're so used to being so negative. Oh, no lo haga porque you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was hard for him.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, but let me try it.
Yeah.
If I fail, I'll learn something new.
That's it, yeah.
So, interesting enough, right? Back to the filmmaker area, because I want to know how you got started. When I got started, I was in DR, and I was doing marketing for companies, and I used to do the videos, the photos, whatever. I was good at getting people's attention.
Okay.
So I was like, started Googling how much a camera costs. DR money, you know what I mean? 150,000, and then going to my mom and be, hey mom, listen, I know you got it, but I want to try this and see if it works. It costs 150 grand, which is $3,000 in dollars, right?
Yeah.
My mom would have been like, mira, mijo, empieza mal paso, empieza más bajito, empieza con el iPhone, right? So se me metió en el cerebro que I wanted to be a filmmaker. I always produced music. I always edited photos. I always done that. So that wasn't something normal.
Yeah.
And so I want to be filmmaker. I want to make videos. I want to do promos. I want to be Casey Neistat. Some of you know who he is. If not, YouTube has 1,000 videos of his. He used to do daily blogging for 3 years straight.
Yeah.
So I used to see that, and then I was the best place to do it is in New York. So every video that I do today is a constant reminder of the reason I came here.
Yeah.
Because I decided that I wanted to become a filmmaker, and I was going to do whatever it took to get there.
Yeah.
So even when I used to work a 9 to 5, I used to go to Manhattan downtown and record a video every day. I have 400 videos on YouTube, just so you guys know. Don't watch them, please. But I used to go downtown and put myself through the process. I failed. I used to get 10 views. I used to get 12 views. I failed. But today I am proud to say that I work with one of the top, or a lot of the top clients and companies that make a lot of money with my videos.
And that's, you're servicing an industry in a way. So it's amazing.
How do you get started? That was my story because I know I haven't told it like that before, but how you got started?
Man, so filmmaking came much, much later for me. So I went to Seton Hall University and I studied finance and marketing there.
Okay.
While I was there, the first step into like getting into the industry was interning. So I interned a lot when I was in school. So I interned at NBC. Sorry, I can't.
I mean, this
We'll cut this.
I dropped the coffee. So I was trying to get it done, but I got him.
You got me confused.
I got him confused. Poor guy.
You got me startled. I didn't know what story I should tell.
What to do? if life's gonna be okay right after this. If we have to restart our life.
I was like, fuck. Do I start from the beginning? I don't know.
Sorry, bro.
It's all good.
First time it happens.
It's all right, man.
All right, cool. I just didn't want to fall in the carpet. Okay. So, how you got started?
How did I get started? So I got started much later in my life. I went to school for finance and marketing. I went to Seton Hall University. And there, while I was in school, I interned a lot. I started interning my sophomore year. And that was at Sony Music in the accounting department. And then my junior and senior year, I was interning at NBC. Junior year, NBC. Senior year, Telemundo. But Telemundo is owned by NBC. I don't know if you know that.
No.
Yeah, so NBC owns Telemundo.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say by that, right?
Yeah.
So you started in CBS.
NBC.
Cool.
Yeah, NBC Universal.
You started... Bueno, de nuevo me voy para atrás. You started in NBC.
Universal, yeah.
And then from NBC, you moved to Telemundo, but you were working as an intern in what area specifically?
So my junior year, I was an intern in the research department. So remember, NBC Universal owns, they own E, they own Bravo, they own Telemundo, they own all these these other channels. So after my junior year, my senior year, I was able to get an internship at Telemundo. So they saw that I interned my junior year, so they're like, okay, great,
Got it.
so it was just a different...
You're already part of the family,
yeah,
so...
in a way, yeah. So that helped out a lot. So that was my senior year. And during my senior year was really when I started seeing the business of entertainment.
Okay.
So my senior year, I was working with strategic marketing partnerships. So they were the ones helping package sweepstakes and shit like that for the different channels because we were working with all the Telemundo channels. So not just the New York one. We were also working with the Colorado one.
Got it.
So...
Yeah, because they're different. They're even though they're Telemundo, they're different channels and different content is being made over there.
Yeah. So after my senior year, I did a great job there. My boss at the time, my intern boss, she's great. Her name is Yanith. She basically got me in contact with my mentor.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm interested in doing production, blah, 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 blah. And he used to produce in LA, but now he works at MSNBC. He's like a VP somewhere or whatever. He was the one that was like, hey, if you really want to do production, you got to go to LA. So mind you, this conversation I'm having with him is after I graduate. This is now, after I graduated, I also got hired by NBC.
Okay.
So I worked at Telemundo, now in a different department. I went from marketing partnerships to now I'm in affiliate relations.
So you're learning all this. You're
different,
just grabbing in information.
So first I'm on the research, early on. Then I was doing marketing partnerships, which is, again, packaging different ideas for these different novellas and different, the different channels. And then I'm with affiliate relations. So with affiliate relations, I was doing clearance programming. So I was a clearance coordinator.
Okay.
So essentially what that means is anytime you see, some sales promo or infomercial or whatever, sometimes those are not supposed to air at certain times. So let's say there's the Yankees win a championship.
Okay.
And there's supposed to be a parade happening. They have to clear that with our department because there's supposed to be other stuff airing at that time.
That you already have in compromiso.
Yeah, with the sales team. And the ad.
Yeah, because you have everything set up in a schedule where you promised whoever paid for that slot that they're going to be there.
Yep. So our department was looking at all the schedules every week. So I had to look at Nielsen reports every week that would show us, such and such affiliate in Houston aired this thing instead of the novela at 8:00. And then my boss, who was the VP, she would reach out to them and be like, hey, you're not going to get your check, you know, because you were airing something else. Like, tell us why, you know, whatever. Like, kind of had to
because what's it called? This sponsor, whoever paid the promo.
The advertisers.
The advertiser paid to be there. You didn't put him. He's not going to be happy. So we got to show face and be like.
Exactly.
So they wouldn't get paid. The channel in that area wouldn't get paid.
Yeah.
Or the funding because they took that out.
Yeah. So they get a check from Telemundo every month, whatever it is, because
for their production.
Yeah. For them being the affiliate, whatever. That's part of the deal, whatever it is. My boss was the one that like kind of signed those checks. So she, you know, it kind of.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So we were basically the police of all the channels of Telemundo, just making sure everyone was airing what they're supposed to air and not anything else. Yada yada.
So let's do a hypothetical here, right? For a second. Toyota comes to you guys. Toyota is like, oh, I want you to put me in all the cities Telemundo has, and I'm gonna pay you $1 million, right? So you guys produce a commercial, or they do?
No. So the commercial's already produced.
Okay, so
we're getting it as like, hey, we have this commercial, we want to put it on air.
So when they put it on air, they tell you, I want it to be when everybody's at home. So for you guys, you know, when your ratings are up, it's a la novela at 8 p.m. So if they don't post if they don't put the commercial, how does Toyota find out that it wasn't placed?
Our department.
Because you're gonna provide the good service to Toyota.
Well, no. So the clearance coordinator and the affiliate relations department, it's our job to flag that and let the salespeople know. Say, hey, that ad that you sold to Toyota didn't air. So, you know, we saw it on the grid. It did not air.
Okay.
You know, and maybe it gets flagged by somebody watching it, but most of the time, no one really watches it. And
it's a lot.
It's just
too
happening.
many channels.
Exactly, it's just happening.
So it's just you guys being the good cop and being upfront. Hey, look, this happened. Like, we'll post it another time, but this is what happened. Yeah,
so we presented to like the sales people, like, hey, that ad that you sold didn't air at this time. Like, they actually aired this. You know, did you guys have a conversation with them, whatever? So, or did you guys work out a deal that they didn't have to be on? You know, so there's a lot of red tape and there's a lot of like variables that go into that world. But
because you're talking, there's a lot of levels.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're talking about this, for example, it was your supervisor, BP, right? Yeah. Then there was the sales department. Then it was Toyota.
It's a bunch of
Toyota
people.
Definitely has their marketing department. Then the marketing department talks to the BP. So it's like everything needs to be in writing. Everything needs to be coordinated. You know, that's the corporate world.
So being on that side, I was like, oh, that's really cool. You know, and studying business, I always thought I wanted to be on the business side of entertainment. And you still are no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
You have to do,
exactly. So
you have to sign contracts.
Exactly. Yeah,
you have to price. But it's different because your focus is more in the content creation.
Yeah.
Right after that's done, it's the content.
So it's like my first year. So basically, I graduated. I didn't have a job for like 2 months, and then they got back to me. They're like, "Hey, we want you back." Blah blah whatever. So it was cool. So throughout my first year at NBC, like,
may I ask you what year this is?
This is 2000. I graduated 2011. So from 2011 to 2012, I'm at Telemundo pretty much.
Nice.
So while I'm there, I'm getting the itch of like, I'm seeing a lot of great people that have been there for years, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that. I understand people need to do that. Totally fine. I get it. But personally, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get pigeonholed. Like, to the point that my boss now, at the time when into my first year with Telemundo after graduation, my boss, her name was Ann. That's the VP that I was talking about. She even told me, she was like, hey, I don't want you to be pigeonholed. Like, if you want to do other things, you have to let me know so I don't, hold you back. So she was super sweet about that.
That's actually pretty cool because that's not normal in corporate.
So I tried to make sure that I got my job done with her, but in between I was watching like YouTube clips, Martin Scorsese talking, Spike Lee talking, just like
getting inspired.
And then what I also did was I took an NYU class. So I took like 6 classes, like nighttime classes.
Interesting.
At NYU that were like production, budgeting, development. So like one of my teachers was a director at Sundance Channel, and she like dealt with developing. So like she taught us how to do the Bibles, like the series Bibles, and like how to pitch, an idea.
So that So that takes me into pitching Abuelitas. I know that you're currently trying to do funding for it, correct?
Yeah.
So give me a little bit about that. And because, in all honesty, I think I need to take those 6 classes in NYU.
I'm telling you, man, like the biggest thing I've learned is that you could come from any background and you could do film. It's just a matter of learning the business of film, and that's it. Like,
do you think it's only that, or do you also have to have a little emphasis of creativity to it to give it life
creative.
to it?
Everyone's creative.
Really?
Everyone's creative. Everyone's creative in their own right. Just depends on the situation you put them in. Some people can't be creative with a camera, but they could be creative with numbers. They could be creative with drawings. They could be creative.
I got you. You're pulling a Gary right now. You're pulling a Gary V right now, bro.
I love that. I love Gary V.
Yeah, me too. But that's exactly what it is, right? It's like your form of creativity. Maybe your form of creativity is not editing. Maybe your form of creativity.
Maybe it's paperwork. Like legal departments on big movies, they get paid a lot. And there's a whole department just dealing with paperwork and blah, blah, all that
and
stuff.
the rights and getting all the clearances and all that stuff.
That's a whole department. And that's someone that went to law school or whatever and now is working for Warner Brothers.
Exactly.
But like it all depends on if you want to be in this entertainment business,
Yeah.
But going back to that What Else Luck stuff, all the stuff I've learned, all the things I've learned over time, I am trying to apply that now, which is like, raising money and stuff like that. It's difficult because I don't have like management or agents. And that also helps in the pitching process.
Yeah.
And I'm still in the process of finishing the script fully. Like I have a 4th draft that I'm finishing up. Gotcha. I should have 10 drafts, but it's a process. Like I can't.
So wait, you did 1 draft.
I'm on my 4th draft of the same script, 100 pages, 110 pages.
Well, why you have to do 10 drafts? I did not know that.
Well, every movie you see was written like 20 times before it's officially locked in. Let's make it happen. Just so you know. Like 10 times, 15 times, 20 times.
So let's say you as the writer, you write it 1 time, right? Yeah. Does somebody else write it in the movie industry, or you have to write it?
Then there's other things, right? There could be a deal where someone else comes in per the studio, whatever.
That's what I'm asking, because
it depends on the deal. But like independently, you're just rewriting it yourself. Like you're
like, because you're taking off things that may not look good, adding.
Yeah, you're getting people to read it. You're getting notes, right? Hey, this didn't feel good. This the pace wasn't as whatever. This part wasn't.
You lost me here.
You lost me here, and then I just have to take that. Like I tell people all the time, when you watch my stuff or read my stuff, be as real as possible. I do not care. Tell me it sucks. I need to hear that it sucks if it does, so then I can make it better.
Got it.
Like I'm not gonna get better because you're like, oh Ricky, you know what? Good job. Like, buen trabajo. No. Tell me it sucks. Like
tell me it sucks so I can do it better.
Yeah, just tell me it sucks so I can do it better. Yeah. So the fundraising stuff is tough, man. But I'm going to get back to that because everything I've gone through is like now preparing me for raising money for What Else Luck, Okay. And the reason I bring that up is that my time in LA, so going back to working at Telemundo. So when I was at Telemundo, I told you about the mentor or whatever. So he comes back into play because he's like, hey, what are you deciding to do? And I told him I'm taking these classes, all this stuff. And he's like, that's great. I could get you in contact with my friend that produces in California. You could go out for a week and see if you like it.
That's cool.
And I was like, all right, I'll do that.
This is what year?
This is 2012.
I'm trying to give a timeline.
Yeah. This is like 2012. So he opens that door for me where he's like, hey, just go for a week.
Go for it.
And
check
if
it
you
out.
like it, I'm like, all right, cool. And by the time he's telling me that, I'm already thinking that I want to leave since I'm taking the classes. So I'm already like,
you're getting ready.
I'm not going to be in here. I want to be in the world. I just don't want to be in here.
Because your job was mostly in a desk.
Yeah, I was at the desk, just reading reports at a desk. Like, It was boring. My boss even told me, she's like, you hate this. So I was like, yes, I do. Like,
you wanted to be more out, more active, more on top of the thing.
So, she knew it. I go for a week. And then now at that time, it's for the Sochi Olympics. So basically, there's a 1 week in the summer that all the athletes of the Olympics go out to LA and they shoot all their promo videos, their photos that you start seeing for the Olympics when they start rolling out.
Okay.
All those People magazine photos, like that all happens in a span of like 1 week or whatever.
From in the morning to the night, everybody's filming, recording.
So it's just every athlete is just sent to one spot in LA and there's a big studio, there's different stations, and it's hey, we gotta do the big stage setup where like the wind's blowing in their hair and it's in slow-mo. Like all those things are shot in like 1 week. So I went out for that and that was for the Sochi Olympics. And from that one job, like I learned that in every job, you hope to meet one or two people that'll help you on the next one.
Of course.
You don't have to be friends with everybody. Just as long as you get one or two people that you're like this with and you have similar interests with or you have similar passions with, then you could not only help them and they could help you, and then you guys could grow like that. Like there's a handful of people that I met on that first job that I'm still in contact with today.
Amazing.
And they're also the ones that got me more jobs after the fact, you know.
Because they got inspired, they know who you are, they liked it.
That's it, they're like,
and
hey.
they were thought of you every time.
And that's the thing too. Like I spent...
It happens to me too.
7 years in LA, and there was moments, down times, up times, especially like, you know, with work, slow, fast, whatever. But what I noticed is like,
LA is expensive, right?
Not like here though.
It's more expensive here?
Yeah, because you're getting mass space over there. It's like the houses are big, you know, so you're paying rent. But the most expensive thing is gas, especially now. Now it's like $6, $7, and when I was there, it was like $4, and I was going crazy. I was like, "What the fuck? That's crazy."
And you would get stuck a lot in traffic too.
Yeah, traffic sucks. That's the bad thing about LA. If you're not in the industry, you should not move to LA. That's what I tell everybody. If you're not in any way or form in the industry,
like where to make money and work.
Yeah, like it's fine. You could do that if you want. Go out to LA, but LA really
cost you.
Caters to the people that are in the industry. Everything that goes on is for the industry. Parties, events. Hey, I can't have a reservation at this restaurant. Oh, why? Because so and so's show just wrapped, so they bought out the whole restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is industry. Everything is industry. So I feel like if you're not in the industry like that, LA kind of becomes boring. It's not
go to visit, travel.
Go to visit, and I'm not saying it's not a nice place to live, but then you're gonna get really annoyed because it's literally the backyard of the industry. Like it's, you know.
And another thing I heard from somebody who used to live there was that everybody, the famous, everybody's.
Well, yeah, you know, they run the town, they run the world in a sense, right? Because of the movies or whatever they're in.
And they're famous. They're there.
Yeah, you know. So, but my 7 years there, I just really learned like people want to work with people they like.
Yeah.
If you're not working a lot, either A, you're a bad worker, or people don't like to work with you. It sucks to say that.
But it's true.
But that's true. Like I have fucked up so many times. Sorry for cursing, but
you're good.
I have fucked up so many times on jobs, but because I had a very strong relationships with like these people I was working with, they're like, hey,
it's okay.
Let's pick it up. Let's do right on another, like, let's just, we kind of just want to make sure the job gets done right. No matter if I fuck up or someone else messes up, like, doesn't matter. Let's get the job right. But in me saying that, I'm just trying to say that people want to work with people they like.
So, because you also saw probably that people that did maybe the same mistake or less actually got fired, get out.
Or people that didn't make a mistake at all. I probably made more mistakes than someone that didn't make one mistake.
So you have to be a likable person and work, and also be able to work with groups and understand how everything works with them.
Because it's it's like a living organism. Like, these people have to be working right, like lighting and tech, grip. They have to be on a certain level, making sure they're doing everything right. Because then camera team has to set up camera a certain way. Then the director and the DP and even the first AD are working with the actors on blocking, like, oh, the camera's here, how can we see her face properly, should we have a light this way, I'm saying, like, all that stuff is it all has to work cohesively in order to get like the final product,
like a symphony, like
in
order, and if you're not working right with this person, it's done.
That was like the biggest shell like culture shock, like just shell shock, that like that's how the industry really, really, really works, where it's like there's just different departments. You don't have to be famous, you don't have to be an actor, you don't have to be a director, you don't have to be a writer. If you like to draw, you could be in art department. If you like to build, you could be in grip and art department, because art department builds mad shit all the time.
Yeah, the like stages, the setup,
design, all that stuff.
That's something, by the way, I want to do. I want to get a warehouse
and build stages,
and be able to do this podcast. Like, oh, we're gonna talk today about Hollywood, and then put like a setup of a beach in the back, or get an LED wall and like have.
People don't realize, like, all these commercials you see, bro. A lot of them are in LA. If they're not in LA, there's some in New York, but for the most part, it's LA, California.
No, thank you for going there, because of Tyler Perry.
Oh yeah, now Atlanta's like a big spot too. Yeah.
It opened up, and I also heard that New Jersey's gonna open a studio as well.
Yeah, there's one in Newark, I think, right now, and Jersey City, I think, is the other one that's gonna open up.
Because they're seeing that we don't have to fly these people out.
Nah, you just leave them here. You could like, there's so much that you could shoot in Jersey. There's so much more space in Jersey too. That's cheaper than Brooklyn and New York.
Yep.
You know
that too.
You know, so that
shooting in New York is not easy. Tell me a little bit about it. You shot there, so how's the permits? How's that work?
So
in Brooklyn, for example,
depending on the job, right? So like this last few things that I did, that like the commercial thing, like we didn't have permits because we were like on private property, so you don't really need permits or whatever.
If it's only if you're filming outside, I completely get it because. I know that when they're closing a road, it's crazy how the whole process.
Yeah, you know, I've done that a bunch in LA, and it's a crazy, crazy process because you have to get signatures from the people that live on the block. If you don't get enough, then that's a whole thing.
You had to get pay for a cop, police as much as you have there.
Yeah, you have to pay for a cop. Is it two ends or one end, right? So like depending on how you're shooting it. So do you need two cops on each end, or do you need one cop on one end? Okay, for how long? Because then they hit OT after like whatever 6 hours. Let's say. So that's another thing too. In working in different areas in film, you really learn how everything works. So like being a good producer allows you to be a good director because you understand like, all right, how can they help me get what I need?
Yeah.
You know, like let me not ask for something crazy, outrageous.
That you know that it's
budget.
not. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like putting together some of these music videos and commercials, it's crazy because a lot of the hard work is planning it. Putting together the before, right?
The shooting is just the ending product, but the before is where everything's.
The whole purpose of this industry is to plan as best as possible, so the director and the actors can get in and just place them. Like that's it.
We're done.
Place them. We shoot it. Got it. Okay, what's the next setup? Oh, there's what we had planned. Okay, art department coming first, then lighting, put in the actors, put up camera, shoot it. We got it. Great. Like that's the thought, is that it runs like that, right?
That's why you said that these companies have big legal departments because they're the ones in charge of getting the permits. Making sure that they get clearance for anybody who's in the video that wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah, and that's also producing. So like a producer will make sure on set, hey, that's all happening. Then hey, legal, here's everything we need or we have or whatever.
So a 2-minute shot, sometimes it can take weeks to
That's
get
why
it
even
ready.
these 60-second commercials, those are 14-hour days. Like I've worked on 14, 16, 18-hour days for a commercial that's only 30 seconds.
Have you ever worked in one that they closed Times Square?
No.
Come on, I wanted to know.
What?
I know that it's crazy to close Times Square.
Yeah, no, and
it's expensive.
Especially if it's a big area like that. Of course, I can't even imagine what it costs.
That's why they usually do it between 4 o'clock and like 5 in the morning.
Do it super late. Yeah.
Because that way they know that as much people as they're gonna be, there's not the same volume that it will be between 8 and 1 or 2.
So now with that, right, you're scheduling 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. or whatever, let's say, right? So that means people need to start getting into work at 2 a.m., right? Then you're having some people that worked on a job before that, right? So they have to leave at whatever time, maybe go to sleep at 9, 10, and wake up like an hour later, 2 hours later to go to set. And you're lucky if you only have 4 hours to do something like.
And then the other thing as well is like you guys have the industry, not you guys, right? The industry has a lot of rules.
Well, yeah, you have the union rules. Like a lot of stuff is independent and non-union. The bigger stuff will always be union just because there's a lot of money that goes to the unions because you're paying people's like health and all that, which is all important. Yeah. But they make it impossible for someone that has no big budget to like provide for that. So you have to do non-union, but you should still follow certain rules. Like every 6 hours is lunch. Yeah. Done. Like from start to finish, 6 hours lunch.
That's only right.
Yeah, it's only right. Overall, like if you're expected to be on a job, you should expect 12 hours. And not that it should be normal, but that's the hours that everybody works. It's 12 hours.
It's the industry.
Whether it's 60 seconds or a 30-second thing. Hey, we're shooting today. Oh, okay. Like block out your whole days. Like I hated asking people like, hey, are you available this day? And they're like, oh, how many hours? Like from what time to what time? I'm like, yo, block out your whole day. Like you're going to be on set. That means that's it. You don't have no other time.
12 hours, yeah.
That's it. So
it makes sense.
So these are the things that...
I shoot for an hour and a half. My videos I do 60-second videos in an hour and a half. That's freaking crazy. 12 hours.
Bro, but then, when you watch these commercials, look how like pristine it looks.
Not only that, you shoot the same thing how many times?
Oh my God. I was once on a Burger King commercial. I can't count the amount of times I saw a guy bite into a burger and spit it into a spit bucket. They had spit buckets for them.
Yeah, because you can't eat it.
They're just like, all right, go another take. All right, cut. Like 20-something times, 30-something times. I'm like, this is so crazy. And then I saw the commercial. 15 seconds, like nothing. Like it was just so little.
And you spend how many hours in that?
Yo, that was 12 hours, and the budget was definitely in like the 200s range. 200,000.
Imagine
Just
that.
so you understand, not
$200,000, and he spit out to 35 burgers.
Yeah, right. Like it's crazy. So that the economics of it all is still absurd.
Yeah.
Right, like you said, you do 60 seconds in an hour, whatever. So
Hour and a half.
it could
And
be
I
shorter.
shoot 4 videos in a day.
That's crazy. And not to say that it's not possible.
But
It
no,
is
but at the end of the
possible.
day, let's remember something, right? My quality of product, it's not the same quality of product that you're going for, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, the thing is, when I shoot the video, we post it in social media. If the video is bad, we just make another one.
Yeah.
In your case, Toyota is paying $200,000, right? Let's put that out there. $200,000 to make this video, and then paying millions of dollars
To advertise
to be everywhere. So if that commercial didn't work,
Yeah.
there's a lot of heads that are going to be cut off.
Exactly. A lot of people are not getting called again. A lot of people are not. Yeah, 100%.
So that's why you have to have those 12-hour days, those 20 shoots.
I mean,
to get one right shot.
I've had a tough adjustment being back because, you know, in me trying to do these like small commercials with smaller businesses,
Yeah.
they don't understand the production process. So they're like, oh, we only need like 30 seconds or 15 seconds. So what do you need? 2 hours? And I'm like, nah, whether it's 15 seconds or 30 seconds, I'm going to take a full day of some kind to give you quality stuff. Like I'm not just going to point a camera. Like I want to light a certain way. I want to have certain camera moves, you know, like things.
That's why in the video world, there's now so much. You guys have they used to have the big industry, right? The commercials,
Yeah.
but now so much little more industries are opening because some people are like, damn, a whole day shooting.
No, for sure.
And you're doing a great job,
Thanks.
and they understand that you're doing a great job, but it's different. And I know that it's crazy for you, right?
Oh my God. Like I just had a recent project. Like it's fine. We finished it, but it was a nightmare because, you know, I wanted to do it a certain way in terms of just like, hey, let's try to like do it this way.
Imagine.
And then get certain notes and then like take another approach or whatever.
You also look at some of the footage when you're shooting, right?
I mean, if we can, right? If we have the time, you know, that's another reason why those days are long. You want to look at the footage because you don't want to get into editing and be like, oh, we forgot this.
Gotcha.
And so because you
and you also have to, you follow, you write everything down, you make the scenes.
I do like a storyboard leading up to it. Yeah, I always try. But even then, you know, they might not want that. They're just like, just point the camera. People are here. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I just don't want to do that. And I get it. There's a lane for that. Because for me, it's not about...
It's interesting because me and you do the same thing, but different ways.
Like for me, I don't want to have 8 clients. You know, you just said you have 6 clients on retainers. That to me is a nightmare.
Let me be honest with you. I have 40. In reality, I do have 40.
Yo.
The only thing is, listen, I have made it in a way where I activate and deactivate clients.
No, good for you, bro.
But last year, hear me out, I had 12 active clients. So I lost a whole head of hair here. I had to. If you look at the front at the beginning of the podcast, you won't see my hair like this. No, you won't see my hair like this.
That's funny.
You will see it long because I was trying to cover that bald spot.
Yeah.
The amount of stress that I took because I was trying to take 12, 15, 20 clients at the same time. One, I'm the one shooting. I'm doing, shoot my eyes. I'm the one shooting. I'm the one doing the drone. I'm the one doing everything. And then I'm the one editing. Then I hire the guy that was working with me.
Yeah.
And like, I also had to train him. I was going psychically crazy.
Yeah, man. It's
I
too
was
much.
sleeping here in the office.
It's too much.
It's a lot. Then now this year I was like, you know what? How much do I need to live?
Yeah. Well, you just need to know like what's your monthly, like what are you okay with to like
4 clients, 5 clients, we're good.
Yeah.
If you want to make one video, we'll make one video, but it's also at a premium price.
Yeah. And that's the key, right? It's like
Because it's 2 years already.
Yeah,
I already
you
know
don't
what
want
works,
to-
bro.
Yeah.
I know what I need to shoot.
You have a system in place with them. You're like, hey, I already have your logo. Like I could do this fast. Just give it to me, done. No, but that's the thing is
It's interesting how our world is different.
I respect that so much because I'm like, I'd rather get 1 or 2 clients that are triple those budgets, quadruple those budgets, where it's like, that's the one thing you do, it's done, and it holds you off for like a couple months. you know, when I first moved to LA, like that was the thing. I was always thinking like, all right, how many days do I need? So as a PA, you're only working for like $200 a day, right? So, and that's again, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, depending.
So you're getting paid $200 for the full day.
Yeah.
Regardless of the hours that it is. It's just that's what you get
If
paid.
it's a better production company, union job, whatever, you'll get overtime. For the most part, people are assholes and they don't give you overtime. They're just like, well, it's part of the deal. And it sucks when that happens.
Well, but you also got to understand, in the world we currently live in, minimum wage is $15.
Yeah, for sure. It should already be a lot more too in general for the hours. But anyways, when, you know, it was a way of, hey, let's say my rent was $600 at the time. All right, I only have to work 3 days on a shoot.
And I'll pay my rent.
And I'll pay my rent, right? So then
the rest is just making to eat
exactly.
food.
So the rest is always like, hey, how many days do I need to work? You know? And then when you start moving up, so after like, you know, when I moved to LA officially like summer of 2012, and I officially started like 2013 was like, all right, I'm in there, whatever. But from 2013 to when I left in 2020, like I went from PAing and then I started office PAing, which just means you're basically another assistant or whatever, but now in the office.
Okay.
So when they're planning the commercial, you're helping out with paperwork, scan this stuff, go out for a run, get us coffee, get us whatever, and that's fine.
But because you're in the door, you're seeing people work.
I'm working.
You're looking at what they're doing.
I'm working with the producers, the production managers. I'm meeting the directors. I'm meeting the client.
You're getting to know people.
Yeah,
which is important. Remember, sometimes you do have to take those small jobs because you get to meet people. There's a guy I never paid me for a video. I mean, I think he paid me for like 2 videos, but he has got me enough clients where it's okay.
That's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it. So, you know, now in office PAing, I'm not just working 1 day on set. I'm working 5 days because there's like 3 days or a whole week to prep. And then there's the one shoot day. So I'm getting 5 days at 200. Now I'm making 1,000 instead of the 600 or the 200 just for 1 day.
That's crazy.
And it's still just one job. So then I would stack up on a bunch of those. So like, let's say I had 2 a month, like, all right, cool, chilling, you know?
You were good.
Yeah, I was good. So and then you go from office PA, then you go to office coordinator. And now if you're an office coordinator or production manager, now you're looking at 300, 400, 500, depending on the budget.
So that's why a lot of kids that are on YouTube that live in LA, they do YouTube and they're able to survive because they also have this jobs that they can go do at just to pay the bills.
Yeah.
They go pay the bills and then they go film their YouTube content and get extra cash through there.
But then because of them being there, they're like, they're rubbing shoulders with the people that are producing stuff or making stuff, So the idea was always to scale up in the job. I didn't want to PA forever. And I told people that I was like, hey, I'm going to PA for now, but I want to like learn other stuff. I really wanted to be an agent, but that was like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's crazy. But
I can imagine dealing with all that.
Yeah. And I have friends that do it and I'm like, God bless your soul. Like
because they have to deal with a lot of people.
Yeah, not only a lot of people, their hours are even crazier. Like,
2 a.m.
Because they're the ones that are like breaking news. Hey, so-and-so is available now. Do we got to sign them off? Like shit like that, crazy.
That is crazy.
So then I started learning about producing and I was like, all right, I want to learn to produce because that was business. What I learned is like, every film is a business. Every project is a business. Every commercial is a business. Yeah,
there has to be a profit in order for it to be valuable.
Yeah, but not even that. You don't even know if there's a profit yet. There's just a number. Hey, to make this is how much it costs. Cool. Now, after that, it's up to whoever paid the original money, right? So let's go back to Toyota. They must know that them paying for a $200,000, commercial is going to get them 10 million, 20 million because of the way they shoot it or whatever.
You're not including the advertising.
And not including advertising, right? So yeah, subtract that too. So the million or 2 million.
They have to, that has to be tangible. Like the same thing actually Dom and I talk about all the time. What we've been doing.
Yeah.
We have gotten all types of people saying all type of different things, but what we've been doing has returned at 300%.
That's great.
So, people in the industry, your industry, sometimes don't see the side of a business owner. Who's used to putting his ad in a newspaper. And getting the return of 100%, 200%.
Yeah.
So when they see that you can make a quick video with your phone, right? Let's just do that way. Let's say that they make the video with their phone and then they get 2 or 3 more clients. They're happy as hell.
With that. Yeah, they're happy with that.
And then they're like, okay, let me hire this kid who just got out of college and he's looking to do things. He charges a video, boom, he makes a video. Now I'm getting 3, 4, 5, 6 clients.
Yeah.
When you guys, like in your industry, you make a film.
Yeah.
Takes longer, gets more things, but you can actually get them a return of 15.
Yeah.
To 20.
Yeah.
The thing is, they don't see it, and that's why what I've seen that happens with a lot of people that I know is they start with the little videos with a phone. They go to a videographer, then they hire a production company.
Yeah, and then a production company.
Because the production companies then shows them, hey, this is what we could do for you. And they're I know how you could do it, so let's do it.
Yeah.
And they're willing to do the, I don't know how much you, like 20, 30, 40, $50,000 to do a proper commercial.
Yeah. That's the thing is that people don't realize that there's a lot of money to do it like that nice, that pristine, that precise.
I mean, you're using a ARRI camera.
The REs, the RE Alexas. You're using Sony,
or the Reds.
And
just the body's 100K people.
Yeah, but honestly, the Reds they're not using the Reds like that anymore.
I saw that.
All the shows right now are using Sony cameras.
Sony and the. We're using
Sony. But like the Sony, what was it?
Well, I know. I mean, we're just talking about the Sonys here, not the little point and shoots people, not the one.
But no,
I had to switch to Sony. I had to.
Yeah. That's
because I was using Canon, but I was being left behind.
Yeah. Canon is. I love Canon to start off, but after a while, you have to graduate.
And Canon is also more for photography.
Yeah, not for video, and two separate things. Yeah.
And mirrorless is killing the. It's like
it is. It's
we're getting into this world where it's like you have to follow it, and Sony's killing it.
Yeah. So it's
even the movie productions people, they're using Sonys too.
Everywhere they're using Sonys, but it's all about like scaling up. Going back to the working stuff, it was just understanding how many days I had to work at a certain rate. That's how I would like pay my bills and whatever. And
learning in the process.
And like eventually when you're producing more, that's like 800 a day or 1,000 a day, depending on the job. Or it's a flat rate, but it's a good rate, right? So let's say it's 1,000 for a 5-day job. Fuck it, I'll take it because I'm a producer on it. I'm also like, helping out in these areas, whatever. It's a good relationship, whatever the case is.
And you're creating a relationship with the director or whoever's paying for the production.
Or whoever's paying for the production, you know what I'm saying? So it all balances itself out, but it's a matter of understanding like what jobs you want to do and understanding how much you can get paid from them. And then like, not burning yourself out. Because I also met kids that were like, oh, I work every day. I don't even have a day to do laundry. And I'm like, it shouldn't be that way. Like you should work as much as you need to pay your bills, right? And then also understand like, okay, how can I utilize my off time? Like my off time, I was like trading stocks or writing. Which is how I did Abuela's Luck. Like in between jobs,
so how long you been writing for? What else? How many years?
Well, the short I started writing. So basically, I got to LA 2013. I started writing Abuela's Luck 2015, and then 2017 is when we made it.
Oh, so that was filmed in 2017.
Yeah, 2017 is when we made it. 2018, 2019, it did the festivals, and then 2019 to 2021 was HBO Max.
Oh,
yeah, it's a long process.
Interesting how. But it looks like it's something you filmed today.
Yeah. Well, we shot that on RE Alexa cameras. Shout out to Gary Jacquez, my boy. He's a DP on it.
Nice.
My best friend. So, we got cameras from Panavision. So, like, because he used to work there. So we had like a connect and that helped us get high quality cameras.
You had to rent it, right?
Yeah. And that's another thing too. Everyone gets caught up here and like buying cameras. Like, yo, just rent it.
I mean, those expensive cameras.
No, yeah, like these, like, smaller ones that you could use on an everyday basis, yes. But like people are like, oh, should I buy a red and that's gonna get me more work? No, it's not.
Don't be Marquez. You know what I'm talking about? Marquez Brownlee.
Oh no,
that YouTuber that's a tech.
Oh, really?
He has like six or
it's
7.
Crazy. And again, I'm sure he's getting paid in a certain way.
No,
or whatever.
No. He's making millions. He's
the thing is, like,
millions.
To me, it was never about the money. And when I got here, too, people were like, yo, let's do like a bunch of these commercials for small businesses, whatever. I'm like, that's cool and all, but I don't care that much about the money to have 10 of those or 20 of those. And then like people are telling me like, oh, you should buy a camera. I'm like, no, I've worked on stuff that like they pay for it. They give you a budget.
Yeah.
You just tell them, hey, I want to shoot this type of thing. They'll give you the money for it. And then you just have to budget it and make sure you get the right camera.
You moved here in 19?
I moved 2020. No, 2020 I left to Miami for like in between pandemic or whatever. And then I got here 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I hope me being back, I wanted people to understand like, yo, there's a lot of jobs in this thing. You don't have to move to LA. You could really like start that here. You just have to be smart and like be more strategic of how you do it here.
And know the business side.
Because a lot of people are doing it here. They're not just doing it for 20 people. They're doing it for 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I also have friends that fly to LA all the time and live in New York.
And film over there and come back.
And come back. Easy. You know what I'm saying? There was a point when I was like their LA contact guy because I was cool with them from New York. And they were like, yo, Ricky, we're in LA. Help us produce this. All right, cool. Let's do it.
For the first time ever, I got reached by a reel.
Oh, nice.
So someone in New York, I guess, saw my reel this weekend. Mm-hmm. And they reached out. So put your real content out there, people.
Yeah, see, and then that's a whole other thing, right? Reels, that's a new thing. I'm not that big into TikTok and Reels. I see them. I see what's happening.
I'm not big into TikTok. I'm not big into posting anymore. Yeah, but same. The business requires it.
For sure. And that's why I'm like, I don't mind doing 1 or 2 posts that are super, super good. And this, like, they just live on their own, right?
But that's the thing.
What you were saying before too is like they get lost, right? Because there's so much happening. Yeah, you're right.
How you know that I say that? Oh, so what he's saying, people. This is a message that I've given like in 20 of the episodes. Yeah, every episode I think I say this.
That's why I heard it.
People, if you post a content, is being lost within minutes. Somebody else is posting a picture of their dog, their baby, their grandma, abuelitas. Look, so there's thousands to hundreds of millions of content going on. Yeah. Make sure you post more. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying lose on your quality. Look at my lighting. Look at the setup, right? Yeah. I'm not saying lose on the quality, but understand that volume is better than just posting one perfect content.
Yeah, no, and that, it could be small clips of stuff. I think that the beautiful thing we have right now is that you could literally film anything, make anything with your phone, blah, blah. But yes, if you want to be making movies that are in theaters, that's a different
and that's what I wanted to bring it out, right? In his world, Ricky Rosario's world, he's not making a content for a minute. The reason why you're not making content for a minute is because your show is gonna live in HBO. Mm-hmm. It may live in Netflix. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna get hundreds of thousands of views. Mm-hmm. You are presenting it somewhere. But Juanito from the block, dude, like you're posting a video of something that's gonna die. Now, if you're making a commercial where you have $100,000, $200, $1 million budget, it's gonna live in Telemundo.
Yeah.
So there's different levels to this world, and if you're trying to play in this level, you have to understand you have to do this level things, and then if you're playing in his level, you have to understand that your budget has to be $50,000, $100,000.
Yeah, there's different things to deal with at each level. And,
exactly.
Understanding. And again, both levels, you can make as much money in both. It's just a matter of like how you do it, how you approach it.
No, and your level gives it a more pristine. But to me, and I'm sorry, I don't want to, trash on your thing, right? But to me, what happens is I believe that people make all this amazing content to just put it on YouTube and not pay any advertising.
Yeah.
Why you did that?
Yeah.
Bring down the budget. Tell Ricky, hey, listen, can we work on this budget?
Yeah.
Because I want to advertise.
Yeah.
So the rule is, and in reality, this is the rule. Your advertising budget has to be double your production budget.
Yeah. No, so
if you're paying 200, let's just put this out there. I'm bringing it to rookie numbers. If you're putting 500 for a video, you need to have 1,000 for advertising.
Yeah.
So the video can go out, and then you're gonna get organic reach.
But now, for now, going back to the short stuff, right? Like, because I'm very big on not putting everything out on YouTube, especially shorts and stuff like that. Like when I did Abuela's Luck, there was a bunch of people that told me to put it up on YouTube. If I would have done that,
you would have lost it.
HBO doesn't happen.
No, never.
So that's the thing too, is like understanding what can live on YouTube and understanding what shouldn't and should be, presented.
But the business side of it.
Yeah.
So you knew how to play the game where I'll post a little 15-second clip, get people's attention, and then go to HBO and be like, hey, listen, I have this here for you.
Well, I could tell you a little bit more on how it happened. Like I didn't talk to them. Basically, they just saw it at the film festival.
Got it.
So they're a sponsor
in New York, right?
Yeah. So the New York Latino Film Festival. Shout out to them. Like they're awesome. That's family.
Invite me next time. I want to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I was trying to bring you guys last year.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I went to Florida.
I forgot. It was a quick though.
It's crazy.
It was the first time
this year.
Yeah.
Let me know within advance. Whenever you know the schedule, I'll clear out my schedule.
Yeah. No, they're great. I credit them a lot. If it wasn't for them,
Abuelitas wouldn't be on HBO.
And that was the biggest thing with
Abuelas.
the film.
Like, why I keep saying abuelitas?
It's fine. I like abuelitas. Like, it's cool. It's cute. Maybe that's the title for the second one. Yo, that's my
abuelitas.
But so I knew that the film festival route was the route of like the business route, right? So I didn't want to put it up on YouTube. I didn't think it was gonna get picked up right away. It went to it went to the festival. The festival is sponsored by HBO, so that's already a good thing.
Got you.
So
there was already people, representatives there who, if they caught the feeling of the show,
that's what happened. Someone saw it there, or maybe I don't know if the programming people told them about it, whatever. But essentially, every year there's a handful of films that they see and they say, "Hey, we like it. We're gonna put it up." Put it in thing. But
that's hard too, because you're competing against how many people?
For sure, and that's why I'm very, very thankful, gracious. Like, all I wanted for that film was to get into one festival. I would have been very happy, because I felt like
it always happens when you wish for the least thing, the biggest happens.
Well, because I felt like I was coming in with very little experience. Like I was only, when we officially made it, I was only like 5 years into like the industry in a way, right? But I knew people that were in the industry for 8-10 years, and that hadn't happened for them, So I'm very grateful for the way it turned out.
Yeah.
That's why when I always speak from experience, I'm like, there's different ways people could do it, and you shouldn't be like caught up on how so and so did it or whatever.
Yeah.
You could only learn from however they did it, and you could decide to go that way, or you could decide if there's another route for yourself, and then weigh out the pros and cons. But if I don't submit to that festival. And again, that only cost me, at the time, I think it was like $10 to submit, 15.
Oh, wow.
And I got a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm trying to let people understand. Like, yo, just like take the time and like strategically apply like some.
How many years again? But that's how it is, right? People work for years and don't get anything.
I know, and that's I got
a show on HBO, bro.
Yeah, like I got a lot of work from it, which was great.
Also, because it also certifies you.
Yeah, and it helped me realize like, oh shit, I'm doing this. Cool. Like
it's a blue mark on your Instagram in your mind.
In my mind, I'm like, oh, I sold something. Like,
I did it.
And like that's all I really want to do. And I'm even at the point now, like I don't want to shoot as much, and by that I mean like I don't want to be shooting with camera as much. Not to say that I won't. My main focus now is like putting together ideas and pitches, because that's what sells. Like everything you see was sold by somebody that wrote it.
Yeah.
And they probably have 5 other things they're selling to somebody else.
Yeah.
So like that's another thing too, is like understanding
you're okay with being behind the scenes just like getting your product out there.
Bro, do you know the amount?
Especially, how old are you again, bro?
I'm 33.
So he's 33 years old. We're not gonna die until we're like 80.
Yeah.
That means you got like 50 years of your life where you could do 10 years of this, 10 years of this, 10 years of this.
Bro, the people that are like famous now, a lot of them just wrote. Like they just wrote, and then obviously they're actors, whatever. But like that's really the bread and butter is writing and pitching it.
And a lot of famous people who were famous in the 90s
they just produce now and they pitch.
They just produce. They're behind the scenes.
That's it.
Daddy Yankee, he's retiring, right? But he's not really retiring.
He's chilling.
He's just gonna go produce.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the office for 2 hours, and then he goes, writes a song, gets the artist, sing it, gets his producer. I'll be back. Goes home, be with his kids, comes back.
Yeah, but it opens you up more to being like.
He's just not gonna be in the concert. He's gonna be out there, but he's gonna be in the behind the scenes.
But that's the thing. Like it opens you up more to
the business side.
Yeah, business side, being the like outright owner. Mm-hmm. And hopefully having like a financial gain from it, because you helped put it together from the very beginning.
Exactly.
Whether it was writing or bringing the money in, whatever the case is like that's the side of the business that I'm really interested in.
I heard, and I don't know, I don't think it was you who talked to me. Did you talk to me about finances and how it works? Somebody called us.
Okay.
To invest in a production.
Oh, okay.
And he walked me through and then sent me the file through email.
Like,
I'm like,
like
so this is how this works.
Yeah.
And then like you get this percentage, you get this, you get that, and then whoever, they also disclose how the percentages are being divided.
Yeah.
They also get a percentage of of them getting the sell through and all that stuff. So again, there's different layers and different levels. If you guys want us to touch more bases, like and go deep into that. Let Ricky know and be like, yo, Ricky, I want you to go back to Cesar and like literally talk about the money.
No, there's so many, like there's so much behind it that makes it work. It's like you just kind of have to like get in where you fit in. So it's like if you're a great writer, you could just write. You know what I'm saying? And then
you'll be good.
You'll meet someone that's able to help you like to the next level.
And also, I think you can make a couple of like you did a 10-minute film, right?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like that gave me the confidence to feel like I can do something that's sellable, right? That I can sell. That
you sold
like.
it.
Yeah. So now it's like, all right, I'm gonna take that same approach. I'm just gonna write again. Try to make it again.
What's coming next?
Oof, I have a few things that.
Give me a couple titles. You don't have to say what it is. Just say the titles. So Abuela's Luck, which is being rebranded to Abuelitas Luck.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really not mad at that. It's really funny. I'm really not mad at that. But yeah, working on the feature for that. And again, that's not going to be shot for a minute. And now, really, this next year is just script, raising the money, and then putting all the pieces together.
I'm gonna be in that shoot, people.
Yeah, I got you.
Put in it. I believe a lot in energy. And like saying that you're gonna do something,
and then it comes, 100%.
So I'm gonna be there.
100%.
2023 people filming shots.
What else do I have going on? I was just in Florida. With
you were filming something.
Yeah, with a bunch of homies. Yeah, so basically Gary was on that as well, the one that shot Willow's Luck with me. But our friend Mike Mentor, he's the one directing it.
Okay.
Funny enough, he was actually a PA on Abuela's Luck, and that was like his first shoot or whatever.
Oh wow.
But he lives in LA now too. He's doing great. Love to see everything he's been up to. And he used to produce a podcast for Warren Sapp.
Okay.
So he wanted to shoot a documentary because Warren Sapp suffers from CTE. I don't know if you know what that is. No. So CTE is like the concussion stuff that the football players suffer.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
So we were down there documenting him and a couple other players, and then also talking to like researchers about life with CTE and just kind of like how the NFL is not doing much about it, all that stuff. So that's what I was down there for. So that's coming out hopefully by the summer.
Nice.
So
it's being
season.
edited now?
Yeah, my boy's in LA now editing it. That'll be really cool. I'm a producer on it, and I actually got to shoot while we were down there. I was like camera opping for a bit, so it was cool. So,
that's what's up.
Yeah, so
it's good you co-producing as well, which is amazing.
Yeah. So my boy brought me in to help produce, and help him put it together. So I'm very excited for that. I actually also did my first stop animation short that I'm going to be submitting to festivals this year.
I want to see it. He's going to send it to me later.
It's called a Pawn's Life, and it's a stop motion chess story.
But I want to, that'll be cool because that's something I've been looking for, somewhere to produce different type of content.
Yeah.
My goal for next year is to set up this in automatic drive. Not next year alone, it could be 24, 25, I don't care. But set up a way where my business runs by itself.
Yeah, 100%.
And I still want to film, but I want to be able to be like, hey, get here to the office, sit down and edit.
Yeah. And that's
like, I don't want to edit anymore. Not because I don't like the editing process, but because I feel like I'm more in the creative side and I can be better.
Yeah, doing that. Yeah.
And someone can be handling this internally.
And then you already know how it works, so you can help them, and just like, hey, set it up this way.
Yeah,
you'll get it done right, and that's it.
I mean, I already have like about, God knows, like more than 500 videos.
That's
probably.
Crazy.
More, way more. So they have where to see the type of content that I make. Just follow that. And every year I have a hard time in December and November. December and January, because I'm trying to reinvent for the new year. If you look at my content from this year, it's different than last year's. And it's different than the year before. And it's because like you always have to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah,
because times change.
Everything changes, man.
And people also like they get bored. Even though they're getting the funds, they get bored because it looks the same.
Yeah.
Well, you heard Dom. He's saying like we want to do something different.
For sure.
We're still doing content, but we're like every day we're trying to figure out.
It's just trying to do something different with it. How to separate from everything else that's already
Everybody now is in the real estate world, bro. Everybody's a
I know
developer.
Everyone's a developer, flipper. Oh, I'm buying houses cash, all that stuff.
So you got to compete with Juanito from the blog trying to put a post. It's crazy.
I love seeing that though. It makes it's great, but also I'm just like, oh.
But they also have to be careful because a lot of them is like they are good. Okay, they're trying, but they're risking a lot of money.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the experience, like you said, you don't know the business side of this, and you're trying to get in because this is fun and this is the new thing, you're gonna end up in the wrong side. And then what's gonna happen? People like Dom are gonna go help you out because they know how this works.
Yeah.
There's a lot of houses being bought at very expensive prices.
No, for sure. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
And then they just run out of money because they can't finish the product.
I used to have my real estate license.
You really? What year?
2008. I was in college, my freshman year.
So you were basically renting apartments?
Yeah, so I was helping friends rent out apartments off campus.
¿Por qué yo sabía que era renting apartments?
No, yeah, I lived like, you know, with houses off campus. Like I sold like 2 houses off campus. I sold a house to my cousin, and then I was like helping friends get rent.
So you were making a little bit of money there?
Yeah, it helped back then, yeah.
Remember, New York rent is like $2,000 or $1,500, so one check gives you for the whole month.
Well, yeah, so when I was doing this by school, so CN Hall's down in South Orange, so like Newark, East Orange, that area. South Orange is beautiful. Maplewood is beautiful. Yeah. So all those rents were like high, and you know, for the most part, it was like a group of 5 or group whatever. So it's
you're
like
just putting the money together.
Yeah, so it's not that bad for them, but it's a great rent for you to rent out and stuff like that. So it was good. I love real estate in general. Like, you know,
it's a cool industry.
I love real estate.
It's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah, when I was an agent, I loved the access of it, right? You know, open houses, you know, the caravans on Tuesdays, all this shit. Like, I love that. But I didn't like being an agent because I was like, oh, you get too caught up in like, you know, being of service of everyone, which is fine. It's needed. But I was like, I want to be more like investing and just like real estate as like
the back end,
an asset, right? Just like,
which is the cool part.
Yeah.
If you do the deals properly, if you get proper asesoría, how you say that in English?
¿Cómo?
Asesoría.
Asesoría, like good association? No.
No, when people are giving you advice. If you get the proper advice.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
I just got a word different. If you get the proper advice, then you're going to rock it and you're going to hit a home run.
Yeah.
But bro, we've been here surprisingly for an hour and 11 minutes.
No way. That's crazy. I hope I gave you good stuff.
Thank you so much for being here. You, bro. Appreciate you, bro.
Peace out.
Can you believe that we did an hour?